You are now on to the last part to get started and start working on your program. So let's install the Eclipse IDE, so the last piece of software. So you downloaded it from the website already, so you've got it in your folder. So I have it here. You have an Eclipse Install application. When you double click on that, it'll load. It might take a little bit once the window pops up, but then you'll have something like this. What you want to look for is Eclipse Ide for Java developers. For me, it's right at the top. It should be at the top for most people, but it may or may not be. But that's what we're looking for. So Eclipse Ide for Java developers. Click on that. Okay, you want to add a start menu entry so that you can access it through your start menu. You want a desktop shortcut so you can access it on your desktop. And this shows you where it's going to install. With that, you can click on the big orange install button and off to the races. There may be some certificates that pop up while it's being installed. It may take a little bit while, but once you get here, then you can launch. So make sure you accept anything that pops up. So click on the launch button and you're ready to use Eclipse. Once Eclipse has started to load, it'll ask you what you want to use for your workspace. So you've set up a workspace already. You may be using your USB. You may have copied it from your USB onto your hard drive. However you want to do it. My recommendation is to only use that USB as a backup. So make sure you're doing everything from hard drives. If you're at school, it should be from the H drive. If you're at home, from your documents or wherever you have saved on your hard drive. USBs tend to cause issues and you cannot retrieve your work if your USB does malfunction. So with this, you choose your workspace. My workspace I have in Google Drive. So I go into my Google Drive. I click on my workspace and I click select folder. Okay, so then this should you should recognize as your workspace, and then you can click on launch to move on to the next step.
So this is the Eclipse IDE, and this is where we're going to be working for the semester. Now in future lessons we're going to dig into all the different pieces and all the finer nuances of it, but basically what we need to do right now is we're at a point where we can actually work, but what we want to do is we want to set up our code formatting. So basically if I open up, you can see this code here. Basically what the formatting is going to do is it's going to set up certain things like spacing, indentation, and all this kind of stuff, so our code is going to look clean as we're going, and it's going to be consistent. So in every project you do, it's always going to have the same spacing. So for example, by default, Eclipse has these opening brackets, these opening squiggly braces on the same line as their commands. That is very non-symmetrical. We want to keep our code as clean as possible, so we're always going to have our this is just one example, we're always going to have those opening braces on their own line, so that way we can see that for every opening brace there's a corresponding closing brace on the same indentation level, so it keeps the symmetry very clean and it's very easy to read. Yes, it does take up more space, but who cares? That doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make the compiled version run any slower or anything like that. When we're looking at code, the most important thing is that we can read it. And if any readability is reduced, it's just a waste of time for other purposes. So why do it? Might as well keep our code clean. So anyways, no, don't save any changes. We need to set up our formatting options. Well, you already downloaded the file for it, that XML file you downloaded from the first video, the SLSS formatting.xml. Now hopefully you put that on your desktop. Mine's in a little bit of a different location, but either way it's still going to work the same way. So looking at here, we need to follow these directions here. So we're going to go to inside of Eclipse, we're going to go Windows, Preferences, Java, Code Style, Formatter. Windows, Preferences, Java, Code Style, Formatter. So going back here, here's Windows, Preferences, Java, let's bring this down here, Code Style, and then Formatter. So we are going to import. You can see I already have it imported, but that's fine. So we're going to import, and then we just got to browse to wherever we have it stored. Now if you have it on your desktop, so you're just going to click on desktop, find it, and then click the open button. And it's going to set up all these different things. It's going to give you a quick demo of what the code will look like, which is great, and it should look exactly like this as you're looking. And then you're going to hit apply and OK, and then you're done. That's it. That's all there is to it. And then we have our formatting all set up. Our projects are all set up, and we're ready to go. And that's the end of setting up Eclipse at home and on your personal laptops.